Hey guys, Jordan here. In this video, I'm going to be talking about numbers you should know as a real estate photographer. So let's get into it. All right, on this channel, I talk about real estate photography. So if that's a topic you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. On this video, I just want to talk a little bit about some numbers you should know as a real estate photographer, especially when you're starting out. I think the number one number you should know is your profit margin, right? I think it's important to know how much time you're spending and how much money each particular job is costing you. Essentially, as a real estate photographer, you have the camera, you have all the equipment. The equipment really isn't that expensive of an expense. The biggest thing is going to be your time as a real estate photographer, right? So whether you're spending 2 hours on a job, 4 hours, 5 hours, look at how much you're charging your customers minus your expenses that you might have, and then divide the remaining by the amount of hours. So I think it's important to make sure that your rates are set at an appropriate level, right? I don't think you want to be working 60 hours a week and making hardly any money because you didn't set appropriate pricing. And I think pricing is very important, especially if you plan on expanding your business. Obviously, we always keep efficiency top of mind because we know our number one expense is going to be our wages to our employees and our contractors. So it's important to just manage that, make sure that you have adequate margins, especially to expand, right? If you need to purchase equipment, you need to hire and train and spend time on individuals, you need to make sure you have appropriate margins. The last thing you want to do is have super slim margins. So anytime you want to expand or do anything, you're having to take out a loan or do financing or something. And I think that's a bad road to go down. So just make sure you're setting appropriate price. And I think that's got to be one of your most important metrics, as you get started. Now, some other numbers, like I already mentioned before, is profitability, right? How much your revenue you're bringing in, and how much expenses, and then what's your overall profitability, because profitability at the end of the day is going to be your gasoline for your business, right? So if maybe you want to grow your business, maybe that's one thing, and you want to hire a VA to do outreach, contact real estate agents, and try to get more and more customers. Well, that does take resources, right? A VA trying to get leads isn't necessarily a revenue generating activity like going out there and shooting photography. But they are very important, right? And I think at the beginning, it's all about contacts. You got to make sure you're contacting, making the proper amount of contacts. And then for us, we have the luxury of having been in the business for a long time. A lot of people know who we are in the marketplace, and that makes it easier for us on the customer acquisition, but only to the extent of the customer experience that we're delivering to our customers, right? We do have a good amount of referrals that come from our existing customer base, but that's only based on the customer experience that we're talking about. I'm not talking about customer experience in this video. I'm just talking about numbers you need to know. I think it's important to know, like, your capacity as a real estate photographer, how many jobs you're shooting, and just kind of set yourself up for success. Maybe potentially bringing on somebody else. Last thing you want to do is be swamped and overwhelmed and you can't do any more jobs, and then your job starts slipping and your delivery times become slower. Well, you got to figure out ways to delegate. So maybe the answer for you personally isn't to hire more real estate photographers because you have a really complex shooting style, but maybe it's to surround yourself with a bunch of people, like an admin, an editor, people that can help you along the way in the other capacities, even if you're a solo operator, to free up your time and save your sanity. I think it reminds me of a student that I talked to, and I feel like I have students, all different mindsets, all different things, solo people, somebody just getting started, somebody in the business expanding, and they run into a lot of these problems where they kind of that one comes to mind with one in particular where it was really hard for him to delegate to somebody, and he was just even to the point like hospitalized because of stress. And I don't think that's not a healthy life or happy life. So I think it's important to kind of set yourself up and know your limits. And it might be worth charging more and doing fewer jobs I mean, there are a whole lot of other numbers you should know. I think one that's very important is customer retention, right? Because that's one that can tell you what your customers are telling you, what's your experience like. Because if you get customers, you spend a whole lot of time, effort, energy getting new customers. But if they're leaving you for one reason or another, you're going to have to look yourself in the mirror, be like, why isn't this person using me again? Or why does 25% of people use us once and never use us again? Are you over promising and under delivering? Could be one. Are you friendly when you're out there? You make it a great experience, or is it awkward and like robotic? I think it's important to have personality and customer experience out there. And when issues arrive, as they will, because we're always willing to do whatever, re-edit, reshoot, refund, all this for free. That doesn't matter to us so much. The thing that matters to us is the customer experience. That matters most of all, because we know long term that's what's going to lead to our success. Now, yeah, short term you could stick your ground, like I'm not going to refund you your $100 because this or that. No, even if the pictures look perfectly great, maybe the customer doesn't think so. They're definitely up to your standard. We will definitely reissue refunds, even in that case, because that's how important it is to us. So anyways, I think I got a little bit off topic on the numbers to know, but those are some that are very important as a real estate photographer, and some things that you got to take into consideration. If you got value out of this video, make sure to hit the like button, and we'll see you guys on the next one.